Dragon Hockey were kind enough to send me one of their Elemental 95 Extreme Lobo sticks. The stick has a 95% carbon composition using Dragon's aerocarbon technology. It features Dragon's control compound on the face and has a thin shaft near the bottom of the handle for improved grip on the stick, making it easier to control the ball. My stick weighed in at 530 grams and had a balance point of 39 centimeters from the head of the stick. So once I got the stick onto the pitch, the first thing I really noticed was how light the stick felt. It was really well balanced for dribbling and it had a really nice feel on the ball. Not being so weighty that I felt like I couldn't move the stick around, but also not being super light so I felt like it had no material behind the ball. The stick has a really good touch compound on the face. It's very grippy, so when you're receiving the ball it holds onto the face really well and makes it much easier to keep the ball under control. Now, because of that light feel on the ball, it made it fantastic for dribbling. I didn't really notice the thin shaft around the bottom of the handle, but because of how I grip my sticks, I very rarely take my hand off the grip anyway. That being said, I did find it really nicely shaped for keeping control of the ball and moving the ball around and keeping it under control. It was especially good for doing quick drags, dragging the ball left to right or right to left at high speed and keeping the ball glued to the end of the stick because of that touch compound. Because of the shaping of the stick, it's very easy to get under the ball if you want to lift it up on your first touch, so it's very important if you're trying to keep the ball on the floor to keep your left hand over the ball when trapping. The stick was great for 3D skills. Being an extreme low bow stick, it's very easy to get under the ball and lift it into the air and use those 3D skills to beat a defender. Because of the high carbon composition of the stick, it has a great power transfer. So when you're hitting the ball, all of the power that you generate through your swing is transferred into the ball. Get excellent power when hitting and slapping. Because of the extreme low bow, it's very easy to lift the ball, and as long as you can keep this under control, it's fantastic for firing the ball into the roof of the net. It's very easy to keep the ball flat to the ground. As long as you keep your left hand over the ball when you're hitting and keep your head over the ball, you can hit it flat to the ground and really fire it into those bottom corners. Because of this, it's also great for playing long passes out from the back, so if you are playing as a sweeper or a centre back and need those powerful hits to play those long passes out to the forwards as they're finding gaps. Combined with that, the extreme low bow being a fantastic profile for slap hitting, this stick is great no matter where you are located on the pitch. Despite the fact that the top of the shaft is thin to improve grip, the lower end of the stick is still quite thick, so it has a very nice reverse edge for tomahawks. It carries forward that excellent power transfer that I talked about when I was discussing the hitting, so all of the momentum that you can build up in your swing, you can transfer that power into the ball. Because of the thickness of the edge, it's very good for controlling the height, so you can either keep the ball flat to the ground, or with a slight twist of the stick, you can hit just below the middle of the ball and cause it to lift and fire it high into the roof of the net. Because of this, it gives you a lot of confidence in taking on shots on your reverse stick, or if you're wanting to use the reverse stick for playing long passes, it's fantastic for that as well. It gave me a lot of confidence playing the ball around on my reverse stick, where I usually wouldn't. Flicking is where the stick really shines. Because of the extreme low bow shape and the shaping of the head, it means it's excellent for getting under the ball, whether that's a lifted shot at goal or a lifted pass to a teammate. You have a lot of control over the ball because of the stiffness of the stick through that high carbon composition. The stick doesn't have a lot of flex, so when you're pushing through the ball, you know that it's going to stay accurate. Whether you want to lift the ball high into the roof of the net when shooting, playing a small lifted pass over a stick to a teammate, or if you're playing a long lifted pass down the line. When you are firing the ball at the goal, because of that extreme low bow, it's very easy to generate power. You can motivate the ball up the stick into the bow and whip back through to add a lot of power on. As long as your technique is correct, it's very easy to stay accurate with this, and you can easily fire the ball into the corners of the goal. This stick is absolutely fantastic for throwing overhead passes. As I mentioned briefly in the flicking section, when you're playing a long lifted pass down the line, it's fantastic. That carries through to the overheads. I found it was almost effortless to throw a 30-yard overhead and was throwing them for fun when I used this stick in games. Whether that's playing a 30-yard lifted pass over the last line of defence to a teammate running onto space, or if you're at the back and you want to throw a very long overhead, it's fantastic for that. I found I could quite easily throw the ball over half a pitch with this stick. accurately to a teammate. Again, much with the overhead and the flicking sections that I've just covered, because of the shaping of this stick, it is fantastic for drag flicking. The touch compound on the face makes the pickup section very smooth. You pick the ball up in flight and it stays glued to the head of the stick. You can then easily motivate the ball up into the bow of the stick, utilising that full extreme low bow profile to generate power through the drag section before releasing it into the goal. Because of the shape of the stick, it's very easy to use deception on your flicks, and so you can wrong foot the goalkeeper and give yourself an extra split second of time before they can get to the ball to make the save. I found it very easy to control the height of the ball when flicking, easily firing the ball into the top or bottom corners, or even if I wanted to, hitting the top of the backboard. Because of the high carbon composition and the high level of stiffness of this stick, there's no flex, so everything you push through the ball will be passed on and you can generate a lot of power. I was a huge fan of this stick while I was using it for review. It has great power when hitting on your open stick or on your reverse. It's fantastic for flicking, it is a dream for throwing overheads. When it came to drag flicking, it generated a lot of power, gave me confidence in the accuracy, allowed me to add a lot of deception without a great loss of power. Coupled with that it is a very light feeling stick and it's excellent for dribbling with that touch compound and the light feel on the ball, making it fantastic for moving the ball around at speed. Wherever you play on the pitch, I think this is a fantastic stick to look into. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave a comment. If you want to support further, you can join the Boss F Hockey Club via the link in my description. There's several different memberships. You get early access, you get entry into giveaways and exclusive behind the scenes content. I've also got Black Friday deals up on my Discord, so if you want to join the Discord, it's free and you can access all Black Friday deals as soon as we can find them on social media.